when the world begins to fall silent. There is a moment just before sleep when the world finally exhales. A moment when thoughts loosen, when the body softens, when the noise of the day drifts, like a distant tide pulling away from shore. If you are here now, perhaps you are tired. Not the loud kind of tired, that demands rest, but the quiet kind, the kind that asks for gentleness, for stillness, for a place to set down whatever you've been carrying. Tonight, you will walk through a different kind of world. A world made not of stone or air, but of calm, of warmth, of inner light. A world where nothing is required of you, where nothing chases you, where every step leads you deeper into the soft gravity of sleep. You will not rush. You will not think. You will simply drift. And I will take you there, slowly, one breath at a time. When you are ready, we begin. Part 1. The Quiet Path into the Inner World. The night is slow. Somewhere far away, in a realm where centuries drift like gentle clouds, time begins to loosen its grip. The darkness is not heavy here. It is soft, like velvet pressed lightly against the skin. And in that softness, an old thought, almost forgotten, stirs. It is the thought of a man who once lived in Florence. Not a king, not a conqueror, just a quiet observer of the human soul. Niccolò Machiavelli. But tonight, he is not the sharp strategist that books describe. Tonight, he walks softly through your mind, like a whisper passing through a long corridor. You do not need to understand him. You do not need to analyze anything. Just breathe and let each word settle gently, like dust falling in a sunbeam. The world around you becomes an endless room of calm, where thoughts move slowly and meaning becomes less important than the feeling of drifting. Imagine a lantern glowing in the distance, not bright, not sharp, just a warm ember floating in a chamber of shadows. Machiavelli sits beside it quietly, not writing, not strategizing, just watching the dance of the flame. A flame that rises, trembles, bows, and rises again. He sees in that flame the nature of human beings, the unpredictability, the uncertainty, the way people shift between courage and fear, between kindness and desire, between honesty and instinct, but he does not judge them, not tonight. Tonight, he lets the flame be nothing more than a flame. And you let your thoughts be nothing more than gentle breezes moving through a quiet room. The walls of the room seem to breathe with you, in and out. A soft rhythm, steady and ancient. A rhythm older than any kingdom, older than any book, older even than the name Machiavelli. Time is no longer linear here. It sways, like a slow pendulum whose weight has been lifted, like waves reaching a shore made of memory instead of sand, like a lullaby hummed by the centuries themselves. If you listen closely, you might hear faint echoes inside the stillness. Power is only a shadow. Fortune is only a river. Human nature is only a drifting mist. But these ideas do not demand anything from you. They do not challenge you. They do not ask you to think. They simply float past, gentle, faint, like the softest wind brushing the surface of a sleeping lake. You are just following them. Slowly, effortlessly, like drifting on your back beneath a sky with no stars. Only a pale, endless glow. Machiavelli sitting beside the lantern, closes his eyes. For once, he is not the analyst of princes, nor the architect of political logic. He is simply a man listening to the silence. A silence deeper than strategy. A silence older than ambition. A silence that asks for nothing except to be shared. And you share it now, breathing in its calmness. Breathing out whatever you carried before this moment. There is nowhere else to be, nothing to solve and nothing to become. Only this slow, quiet descent into stillness, where thought becomes softness, and softness becomes rest, and rest becomes the beginning of sleep. The lantern flickers lightly, and time lets go just a little more. Part 2, the room where thoughts slow to silence. There is a place, not on any map, where thoughts dissolve the way mist dissolves at dawn. A place where the world becomes nothing but gentle movements. Slow curves of air, soft ripples of memory, quiet waves of possibility drifting across a vast inner horizon. Machiavelli stands at the edge of this place now, not as a historian, not as a thinker, just a presence, light as a breath, patient as the moon. Before him flows a river, not a real river, and yet somehow more real than water. Its surface is smooth as polished glass, reflecting nothing yet containing everything. Every ripple seems to whisper a possibility, a path not taken, a choice someone once made long ago, or might make far into the future. This is the river he once called Fortuna. But tonight, the word does not matter. Tonight, it is simply a slow-moving ribbon of time, a stream of shifting chances, a soft current carrying all the uncertainties of the world. The water moves without hurry, no rush, no urgency, just a calm, steady drifting, as if eternity itself were content to glide forward one quiet moment at a time. Machiavelli kneels beside it, touching the surface gently with his fingertips. The lake does not react sharply. Instead, it receives the touch, the way sleep receives a tired mind. Quietly, openly, letting the disturbance fade into stillness again. You kneel beside him. You do not need to understand the river, or you do not need to name it. Just let it exist the way clouds exist, the way wind exists, the way dreams exist before they take form. The river hums softly, almost like a voice speaking from far beneath the surface. Sometimes the world is kind. It murmurs, and sometimes it is not. Sometimes the tide rises, and sometimes it withdraws. But always, always, it moves. Machiavelli listens, his face calm. He once believed that fortune could be fierce. A storm, a flood, a force that tears away what people build. But tonight, he sees only this peaceful movement, the gentle drift of circumstances, the slow turning of seasons, the delicate balance between choice and chance. The river widens. Its surface becomes broader, smoother, quieter. A silver fog rises from it, soft and cool, wrapping around your shoulders like a comforting shawl. In the fog, shapes appear and dissolve slowly. A lone traveler walking through early morning mist. A king staring at a battlefield he never wanted. A mother whispering a prayer for her child. A solitary thinker at a wooden desk, dipping pen into ink. The forms fade back into the vapor, leaving only softness behind. and the river murmurs again.
Every life is a blending
Of what we want.
and what the world allows. No one controls the whole river.
No one is carried by it entirely. We float between intention and uncertainty, always. You feel your breath falling into rhythm with the river. Slow, smooth, deep. In, like the tide. Out, like the tide returning home. Machiavelli closes his eyes. He lets the mist wrap around him. He lets the river's whisper seep into his mind.
He lets the sense of control loosen just a little.
Not disappear.
Just loosen the way a hand unclenches after holding something too tightly.
A thought drifts through the fog. You are allowed to let go. Another follows. You are allowed to float. The river widens even more. Its sound becomes softer, warmer, almost like the deep breath of the universe settling into rest. And slowly, gently, you and Machiavelli rise to your feet again. Not because the moment is ending, but because the river has offered what it needed to offer. A reminder, a softness, a calm acceptance that life does not need to be mastered, to be lived. The fog parts, and a path appears. A long, quiet walkway lined with pale stones that glow faintly in the dimness. The river continues beside the path, flowing at the same unhurried pace as if promising to accompany you for a very long time. Machiavelli steps forward. You follow.
The journey continues.
Slow, silent, dreamlike, and the world grows even softer around you. Part 3. The Bridge of Unspoken Truths. The path curves gently, like a thought that does not want to disturb the silence. The stones beneath your feet are smooth and cool, warmed only slightly by the faint glow rising from within them. It feels as if you are walking not on earth, but on the memory of a dream. Beside you, Machiavelli continues forward with slow, measured steps. There is no urgency in him now and no intensity, just a steady presence, like the quiet warmth of a candle flame when the rest of the world has fallen asleep. Ahead, a bridge emerges from the mist. Not a grand bridge. Not a triumphal arch of stone. Just a simple crossing of long, wooden planks suspended over a deep, motionless darkness. A bridge built for introspection, not for spectacle. As you step onto it, the wood creaks softly. Not in protest, but in welcome. Each step becomes a whisper folded into the night. The bridge stretches forward into a fog that shifts like a curtain of breath. The air grows cooler, lighter, and strangely comforting, as though the world has laid a gentle hand upon your shoulders. Machiavelli pauses at the center of the bridge. Here, the silence feels different, deeper, more aware, as if it is listening back. He rests his hand on the railing, running his fingers along its grain. Then he speaks, but not with the thunder of a philosopher or the crispness of a strategist. Instead, his voice is soft,
Almost unsure.
almost human. "People," he says faintly.
Are not what we imagine.
The words float in the air like drifting petals. They are not the heroes we write, nor the villains we fear. They are softness wrapped around longing, light wrapped around shadow, uncertainty wrapped around desire. The fog around you thickens, swirling gently in loose spirals. You do not need to analyze what he means. You do not need to interpret. anything. Just let the words move across your thoughts the way a breeze moves across a field, touching everything but demanding nothing.
He breathes in deeply and the fog sways with him.
In my time, he murmurs, I tried to understand people as they are.
Not as we wish them to be.
He closes his eyes.
But tonight, his voice softens even more.
Tonight, they feel less like puzzles and more like drifting lights. As he speaks, faint glimmers appear beneath the bridge, tiny orbs rising from the depths like fireflies awakening in the dark. Their glow is dim but steady, each one pulsing with a gentle rhythm. Machiavelli watches them.
They are fears, he whispers. They are hopes.
They are habits, memories, moments people rarely admit to themselves. A light rises closer to you. Inside it, you see a fleeting image, a hand reaching for something it cannot quite grasp, then fading back into the glow. People are not consistent, he continues. They shift with the tides of circumstance. They bend with the weight of their own stories. The fog presses softly against the railing, like a sigh. But inconsistency, he says slowly, is not a flaw.
You feel the bridge beneath you, steady and unmoving.
You feel the faint currents of air brushing your skin. You feel yourself sinking gently to the calm. It is simply the nature of being alive, he finishes. The orbs of light rise higher, drifting upward past the railing, floating into the air above the bridge. Some shine brighter, some dim almost to nothing. Yet all of them move with the same patient grace. The sky above, or whatever sky this world holds, begins to pulse with a faint silver glow. The lights gather there, forming a soft, slow-moving constellation. A constellation not of stars, but of human nature itself. You watch them, not with judgment, not with thought, just with the quiet curiosity that comes when the mind is tired and the heart is willing to be still.
Machiavelli steps beside you.
For all my study, he whispers, this is what I saw most clearly. His eyes follow the drifting constellation. The people carry more softness than they admit, and more uncertainty than they can hold. The lights drift farther upward, disappearing into the calming silver haze. The bridge shimmers faintly beneath your feet, as if acknowledging the truth in silence. Machiavelli exhales. The mist grows lighter. The path ahead reveals itself again, continuing into a gentle curve, inviting, quiet, unhurried. He turns toward the path. You follow.
And together, you leave the bridge behind.
A bridge that hums softly as the lights fade. A bridge of truth, not sharp or harsh,
but softened by the night.
And the night receives everything with perfect calm. Part 4. The garden where emotions breathe softly. The path curls softly away from the bridge, drifting into a landscape that barely seems to exist. The ground beneath your feet is neither earth nor stone. It is something gentler, like the surface of a memory waiting to be recalled. The air grows warmer here. Not hot, just warm enough to ease the breath, warm enough to feel like late evening sunlight resting on closed eyelids. Ahead, shapes begin to form from the mist.
Shadows at first,
then outlines, then faint structures rising quietly from the haze. They reveal themselves slowly. A long corridor. Walls made of pale, translucent stone. Light seeping through them as if the stone itself were dreaming. Machiavelli steps inside with the calmness of one who enters a sacred sanctuary. But this sanctuary is not a temple of power, nor a hall of politics. It is a place much simpler. A place where thoughts become gentle, where sounds become soft, where the self becomes light enough to float. As you both walk, your footsteps soften until they become no more than shadows of sound.
Machiavelli runs his hand along the wall. The stone responds with a faint vibration, like a distant echo returning after centuries of travel.
Every person, he says quietly, lives inside a structure of their own making. His voice is slow, heavy with introspection rather than analysis. A structure of fears, habits, longings, and unspoken truths. The corridor expands around you, forming a circular chamber. At the center floats a single sphere of pale gold light. It pulses slowly, like a heart that has finally found rest. Machiavelli approaches it carefully. He does not touch it. He simply watches its soft glow. "This," he murmurs, "is what I spent so long observing." The sphere rotates gently, revealing faint ripples across its surface, ripples that seem to respond to his presence.
"Not strategies," he whispers.
"Not politics,
"Not power." He pauses,
but the quiet impulses that move people long before they make decisions." The sphere glows brighter for a moment, as if agreeing. You step closer. Within its soft, translucent surface, you begin to see images. Not clear, not sharp. Just faint impressions rising like dreams in half sleep. A person hesitating before speaking. A child hiding behind a doorway. A stranger choosing between kindness and silence. An old man staring out a window, lost in a thought he cannot name. Machiavelli watches them with a softness that did not belong to him in life, yet fits him perfectly here. "I studied human behavior," he says, "but I learned far more from the moments people never meant to reveal." He lowers his voice. The way a hand trembles when making a decision. The way an eye lingers before looking away. The way anger hides sorrow. The way confidence masks uncertainty.
The chamber dimly echoes his words, amplifying their calmness.
Each example feels less like a lesson, and more like a breeze brushing past your thoughts. "You see," he continues slowly, "the human mind is not a fortress." He gestures gently toward the glowing sphere. It is a collection of quiet rooms, each holding a different part of us, each lit by a different shade of truth. The sphere drifts away from the center, revealing a second chamber that opens like a flower unfolding. Inside, you glimpse more rooms. Some filled with a warm amber light, others drifting in fog, others empty and waiting. "Most people," he says softly, "never visit these rooms. Not because they fear them,
but because they move too quickly to notice the doors."
He turns to you, but you are here now, walking slowly, breathing gently, listening without effort. The sphere of light settles into your path, guiding you forward through the chamber. The walls shift as you move, not abruptly, not loudly,
but with the grace of silk folding in a breeze.
Rooms open around you, each bathed in its own color.
Soft rose light,
Pale blue, warm gold, muted gray. Each room carries a subtle emotion, not overwhelming, just softly present. Machiavelli stops before a room glowing with a dim bronze hue. "This," he says quietly, is the room of hesitation. You feel the air inside it, heavy but peaceful, like the pause before a confession. People rarely understand how much of their lives happens in this room, he murmurs. It is here that they decide whether to speak, whether to act, whether to trust. He smiles faintly. And here is where their truths whisper the loudest. The bronze light flickers gently, then fades back into a restful glow. You continue forward. The next room glows with soft lavender light. The room of longing, Machiavelli says. Inside, you sense warmth,
a quiet pull towards something just beyond reach, a gentle ache that does not hurt.
but hums like a chord struck deep within the chest. Every person carries this room, he whispers, even those who pretend not to.
The lavender light sways, then settles.
You walk on. Every room you pass feels like a soft revelation. Not sharp, not demanding, just a quiet unveiling of how human beings come to be who they are. Machiavelli follows you, silent now, letting the chambers speak for themselves. And the chambers do speak, not with words, but with presence, with color, with breath, with gentle echoes of emotions that float like dust in a cathedral beam. Eventually, the corridor narrows again, leading toward a single, dimly lit passage. The walls glow faintly, guiding you toward whatever lies beyond. Machiavelli walks beside you, not as a teacher, not as a guide, just as someone who has finally allowed himself to rest. And as you step deeper into the passage, the rooms fade behind you like lanterns dimming one by one, leaving only the soft glow of the path ahead and the gentle rhythm of your own breath. Part 5. The Chamber of Hidden Courage. The narrowing passage slowly opens into a wide, gentle valley, a space so soft and quiet that even the air seems to move with mindful care. There is no sun here, yet everything glows with a muted silvery radiance, as if the world were painted with the faintest touch of moonlight. Machiavelli steps forward without hesitation, as though he has walked this valley many times in dreams he never remembered upon waking. The ground beneath your feet is cool and velvety like moss that has slept for centuries. Small flecks of light drift lazily in the air, each glowing faintly like dust motes suspended in a sunbeam. They are not insects,
Not sparks,
not stars. They are echoes, small fragments of thoughts, memories, and emotions that people release without ever noticing. Each fleck carries a faint shimmer of a feeling. A moment of tenderness, a sigh of regret, a forgotten smile, a quiet sorrow. When you walk, they swirl around your steps, responding gently, never rushing. Machiavelli watches them with peaceful eyes. In life, he murmurs, people often imagine that their choices speak the loudest. He lifts his hand and lets a fleck of light settle on his palm. It glows briefly, then drifts away like a dusted feather. But it is their echoes, he continues softly, that linger the longest. The valley hums faintly,
a sound so delicate you feel it more than hear it.
a resonance like the vibration of a distant string, deep, warm, calm. Machiavelli walks slowly ahead, letting the echoes gather around him, forming a gentle halo of pale gold. These echoes, he says, are not judgments. They do not measure good or bad, success or failure. They simply record the quiet truth of a moment, without adornment, without fear. Behind you, the corridor of rooms fades completely, the glowing doors dissolving into the silver mist. Only this valley remains, open, soft, endless. You step deeper into it. The light flecks begin to move more deliberately, as though responding to a rhythm not yet audible. Then in the center of the valley,
a low swell of air rises.
Gentle, warm, like the breath of the earth beneath you.
And with that breath,
the echoes change. Some glow brighter, some dim, some drift upward, some sink toward the ground. It feels like watching leaves float on a quiet pond, each moving with its own small purpose. Machiavelli kneels, placing his hand on the cool moss. "This valley," he whispers, "is where the truth of human nature settles." You kneel beside him. The ground exhales again. Slow, steady, almost like a heartbeat. People move through life, he says, leaving behind these faint traces.
Words meant to comfort.
Words meant to protect. Moments of doubt. Moments of courage.
He picks up another fleck of light.
Inside it, barely visible, you see an image.
A person offering a coat to someone shivering in the cold.
The scene lasts only a second before the light dissolves again. Great events, Machiavelli murmurs, are loud. Wars, victories, ambitions, losses.
Another fleck rises. This one darker, like embers cooling.
But the small moments, he says. The unnoticed ones. He lets the fleck drift from his palm.
What endure?
You breathe in slowly. The valley breathes with you. The echoes pulse softly. Above, the sky shifts.
Not with clouds,
but with slow currents of light, like silk ribbons drifting in water. This, Machiavelli says quietly, is what people rarely understand. The flecks gather in a spiral around you, both. Human nature, he whispers, is not defined by the great choices. It is defined by the gentle echoes, the unconscious imprints, the soft vibrations left behind. He gazes into the mist. Most people never hear their own echoes, he continues. They move too quickly. They fear silence. They drown out their truths with noise. The flecks dim for a moment, as if acknowledging a collective human habit.
But here, he says,
waving his hand lightly, there is only quiet. And in quiet, echoes reveal themselves. He stands slowly, his motion stirring the flecks into a soft golden shower around your feet. You stand with him. The world feels heavier and lighter at the same time, as though your mind is settling deeper, while floating higher. Machiavelli turns and gestures toward the far end of the valley, where a faint arch of light begins to form.
It is time, he says softly,
to walk where echoes gather. The arch pulses gently, inviting, unhurried, safe. The flecks drift behind you as you approach it, falling back onto the moss like snowflakes made of memory. And as you pass beneath the arch, a calming stillness washes over you. Not erasing anything, simply
softening everything.
You step forward into whatever lies beyond, bathed in the warm hush of countless human echoes, finally allowed to rest. Part 6. The Sanctuary of Inner Harmony. Beyond the arch of light, the world softens even further. As if the air itself is gently exhaling, releasing a quiet, endless calm. You step into an open plain where everything feels unfinished. Not broken, not empty, just unformed. The way morning fog holds the promise of shapes not yet revealed. The ground is covered with a pale mist, moving in slow waves like a sleeping ocean. Each breath you take seems to ripple through it, carrying your presence softly across the field. Machiavelli walks beside you. His steps barely disturb the mist, as though he has grown lighter with every chamber, every echo, every quiet truth you have passed through together. The sky above is wide and silent, colored with an endless gradient of blue-gray. Cool at the edges, warm in the center,
like a whisper of dawn that refuses to rush.
In the distance, shapes drift upward and dissolve. Faint silhouettes that never fully form before melting back into the air. They are thoughts. Not full thoughts, not plans, not conclusions, just beginnings, seeds of ideas that the world once brushed aside before they had the chance to become real. Machiavelli watches one rise. It wavers, its outline trembling like a candle in a soft breeze. Then it fades, falling gently back into the mist. These, he says quietly, are the things people almost believe. You listen.
They are the thoughts they silence
before they can take shape. The insights that appear for a moment and vanish when doubt breathes upon them. Another thought rises nearby. It takes the shape of a small, glowing orb, warmer than the echoes from the valley, brighter,
fuller,
but still fragile. These are the beginnings of honesty, Machiavelli whispers, the beginnings of clarity, the beginnings of change. He pauses. But beginnings are delicate. You walk deeper into the plain.
The mist swirls around your legs,
Cool and comforting, like stepping through a cloud that has been waiting for you. Above the mist, more shapes rise, each one flickering softly, each one carrying a tone, a feeling, a color, a shimmering outline of a person deciding to speak the truth, a dim glow of someone considering forgiveness, a trembling shadow of someone imagining a different life, a warm, expanding orb carrying the first spark of courage.
None of them solidify.
None of them complete themselves.
They simply rise, hover,
and dissolve. It is here, Machiavelli says, that the mind whispers what the heart is too cautious to say aloud. You slow your pace. The mist drifts thicker around you, cooling your thoughts, softening your breath. Machiavelli steps into a deeper pocket of fog, and for a moment his outline blurs, as though he too is becoming an unfinished thought. People, he murmurs from within the haze, fear their own beginnings.
They fear the first step.
More than the journey. They silence themselves before the world ever hears their voice. The fog around you glows faintly. More thoughts rise. Small, trembling lights flickering like stars in the shallow night. They fear wanting, he continues. They fear imagining. They fear hoping, because hope requires vulnerability. The word vulnerability drifts through the mist, like a feather carried by a slow breeze.
But without beginnings, he whispers,
nothing becomes true. You watch as a brighter orb rises directly in front of you. It pulses once, a deep, warm pulse,
and inside it, you glimpse a scene.
Someone standing alone in a dim room, gathering the courage to change the direction of their life. Not acting yet, just considering it.
Just allowing the thought to exist.
The orb expands gently,
then dissolves into the air, like breath fading in cold morning light.
Machiavelli steps beside you again, his presence calm and steady. These fields, he says, hold the thoughts that never found the strength to become actions. He bends down and touches the mist. Instead of dispersing, the mist gathers around his fingers, recognizing something in him, responding gently. He lets it slip through his hands. "It is here," he says softly, "that we learn how fragile the inner world truly is." You continue walking the field, stretching endlessly before you, carrying thousands of unformed ideas, each one a quiet possibility. That came close to being born. Above you, the sky brightens slightly, not with sunlight, but with potential, as if all these unfinished thoughts are gently illuminating the air. Machiavelli stops and looks upward.
"Listen," he whispers.
You hear nothing at first.
Then a faint hum.
So soft it might be the sound of your own breath echoing back at you. It is the sound of potential, the sound of ideas waiting patiently.
For someone to notice them. The sound of truths.
That almost took shape,
The sound of the human mind.
resting between doubt and possibility. Machiavelli closes his eyes. Everyone, he murmurs, carries fields like this inside them. He breathes in, silent.
He breathes out, unfinished.
Waiting. The mist settles again, wrapping the plain in an even deeper calm. You stand there, feeling yourself soften in the stillness. Feeling your thoughts slow to match the quiet rhythm of the world around you. Feeling the mind ease into a softness so deep. It becomes almost indistinguishable from sleep. Machiavelli opens his eyes and the path ahead begins to appear. A faint ribbon of pale light leading deeper into the unknown.
"It is time," he says gently,
to see where these beginnings lead. You step toward the light,
and the field falls into a peaceful hush behind you.
a hush so deep. It almost feels like your own thoughts are kneeling within it. Part 7. The Hall of Soft Decisions. The pale ribbon of light beneath your feet grows slightly brighter as you follow it, not guiding you with urgency, but inviting you with the kind of patience only found in places untouched by time. The mist of the field slowly thins. The air warms again, gaining a softness like the first breath after waking from a gentle dream. Before long, you find yourself standing at the entrance of a garden, but not a garden of flowers nor vines
Nor trees.
This garden is made of pathways, hundreds of them, thousands, perhaps more than the eye can count.
They stretch outward in every direction.
Some narrow, some wide, some lit with soft gold, others drifting into cool shadow. Machiavelli steps forward quietly. He looks more at peace than ever. His eyes reflect the faint glow of the pathways, as if he is seeing not the roads themselves, but the stories that once walked them. This, he says softly, is the garden of decisions. His voice is slow,
Like a leaf falling from a high branch.
turning gently as it descends. When people think about choices, he murmurs, they imagine crossroads, a moment, a point in time. He shakes his head slightly,
Barely enough to disturb the air.
but choices do not live in a single moment.
He gestures toward the endless branching paths.
They grow like this, quietly, patiently, deep within the mind, long before action takes shape. A breeze moves through the garden, soft enough to feel quiet enough to almost miss. The pathways shimmer in response. Some glow a little brighter, some darken, some fade, their outlines dissolving into nothingness. As though decisions forgotten are slowly returning to the soil, Machiavelli kneels beside one of the paths. It is thin, barely visible, glowing with a faint, flickering blue light. He traces it with his fingertip. "This," he says, "is a choice someone never believed they deserved." The path trembles gently as if touched by a small sadness. That has been waiting centuries to be acknowledged. You watch it waver, and then soften, and then fall still again. You walk further into the garden. Every step seems to reveal something subtle. A path pulsing with quiet regret, a path warmed by a long-forgotten hope, a path standing straight and bright, filled with the certainty of someone who once knew exactly what they wanted.
And then,
a path that loops back on itself, spiraling in gentle circles, never reaching forward, never reaching back. Machiavelli stands beside this one. "In life," he says, "many people walk paths like these. Circles of indecision, circles of fear, circles where nothing changes because nothing is tried." His voice softens even more.
"But even these circles," he adds,
"tell a truth. The spiral begins to fade, its edges loosening like the unraveling of a thread. Human beings," he murmurs, "are not made to move in straight lines. They move in curves, loops, steps forward,
steps back,
and sometimes
moments of stillness that look like hesitation, but are really just the soul catching its breath."
You breathe in deeply. The air feels different here. Lighter, thinner, carrying the faint scent of something like memory. A golden path appears at your feet. Bright, steady, warm, but not demanding. Machiavelli watches it,
his expression touched with a quiet longing.
"Every person," he says, "has at least one path that feels like this." He kneels, placing his hand above the glowing trail. A path that aligns with who they truly are. Not who they pretend to be, not who they were told to be, but who they are beneath every layer of fear. The golden path brightens, responding to his words. Then it softens again, returning to its gentle glow. You continue walking. The paths shift around you, not randomly, but like seasons changing in slow motion.
Some merge,
some diverge, some vanish with a sigh. Many remain quiet and patient. People imagine that choices happen suddenly, Machiavelli says.
But they begin here,
as faint lights within the mind,
long before the world ever witnesses them.
The garden deepens. The pathways grow even more intricate. Some bend in ways that feel impossible, like thoughts twisting into shapes you don't quite recognize. And then you reach a small clearing.
At its center stands a single tree, but not a tree of leaves or branches.
A tree made of light. Thin strands of luminescence weave together,
forming a trunk that glows with a calming pulse.
From the trunk rise branches, each one a different color, each one faintly shimmering with the energy of a possibility not yet chosen. Machiavelli steps close to it. "This tree," he whispers, "holds the moment before action."
He touches one of the branches lightly. It glows brighter,
spreading warmth through the air around you. "The mind rests here," he says, "before every choice,
before every decision, and
before every turning." He steps back. "The world focuses on what we do," he murmurs, "but the soul focuses on what we almost did." You feel the truth settle over you, like a soft blanket laid across your shoulders. The tree pulses again. Not encouraging, not warning, just breathing.
It holds all possibilities.
All hesitations, all whispers of maybe, not yet, and what if. Machiavelli watches it quietly.
Then he turns to you.
"It is time to leave this garden," he says softly, "and enter the place where choices become truth." The pathways dim behind you. The tree's glow fades into the mist, and a new light begins to rise ahead, a deeper, steadier light, as though the world is preparing to show you the next quiet layer of the human soul. You step toward it, and the garden falls away into perfect, peaceful stillness. Part 8. The corridor where truth reveals itself. The deeper light ahead does not shine like the sun, nor glow like the moon. It is something softer. A light without edges, a warmth without heat, a presence without pressure. As you walk toward it, the world around you changes again. Colors fade into gentle neutrals, pale gold, soft grey, muted ivory shades so calm they seem to hush the thoughts themselves. Before long, you step into a long, endless hallway. The air is cool and still, like the inside of a cathedral at dawn. Before the first footstep breaks the silence. The floor beneath you is smooth, reflective, as if made from liquid stone. Your steps are quiet, a long, even dash, falling into a rhythm that feels like a slow heartbeat, echoing through eternity. Machiavelli stands beside you, but he is quieter here, as though the hallway itself has asked him to soften his presence. "This," he whispers, "is the corridor of truths that people know, but rarely admit."
The walls shimmer faintly as he speaks, not with images,
Not with text, just with a delicate glow, like the internal shine of a pearl. Just beneath its surface, you walk slowly. As you move, sections of the wall come to life. Thin strands of light expanding into soft shapes.
They resemble windows,
But not windows that show scenery. These windows reveal insights, small pieces of understanding that people often sense but seldom acknowledge. The first window glows gently. Inside it, you see a person wearing a calm expression.
while holding a storm behind their eyes. The storm is not violent,
Just heavy, unspoken, swirling quietly. Machiavelli touches the frame. "This," he says softly,
is the truth that people know their own fears.
but pretend they do not.
The image dissolves.
The second window ignites with a warm, trembling light. Inside, you see a pair of hands, one reaching forward, one pulling back. Both belong to the same person. "This," Machiavelli murmurs, "is the truth that people want connection, but are frightened by how much it asks of them." You nod without thinking, not as understanding, but as drifting with the rhythm of the hallway. The window fades. Further down the corridor, a third window brightens with a deeper amber glow. It reveals someone gazing into a distant horizon. Eyes full of longing, yet feet planted firmly where they stand. "This," he whispers, "is the truth that people dream of change, but cling to what is familiar." His voice becomes softer, almost fragile. "Not because they lack courage," he says, "but because safety feels like a small, warm room, and change feels like stepping into the dark."
The image dissolves like mist.
You walk on. Window after window glows,
Each showing something gentle.
something real, something universally human, a person smiling while breaking inside, a person offering kindness while longing to receive it, a person who knows what is right but chooses what is easy, a person who yearns to begin again but carries yesterday like a silent weight. None of these scenes are dramatic, none are loud, they simply exist.
Soft truths floating beneath the surface of human life.
The world, Machiavelli whispers,
Is full of truths like these. His footsteps slow.
people recognize them, feel them, carry them,
But rarely speak them. Another window lights up.
This one glowing with a soft, muted silver. Inside it, you see a person standing before a mirror, not touching it, not turning away, just watching their own reflection with quiet confusion. This, Machiavelli murmurs, is the truth that people understand themselves.
Only in fragments. A faint breeze moves through the corridor.
Not cold, not warm, just enough to lift a single thought from your mind and let it drift away. Machiavelli closes his eyes briefly. People think they hide their truths from others, he says, but in the end, they hide them most from themselves. You continue walking. The hallway feels longer now, but not in a burdensome way.
More like a slow river that wants you to drift freely.
Without forcing a destination. The lights dim ever so slightly, your breath deepens, your thoughts slow. Your awareness softens into something spacious and quiet. At the end of the corridor, a final window glows with a tender, pale light. Inside it, you do not see a scene, or a person, or a symbol. You see only stillness, pure, weightless stillness, as if truth in its deepest form is not a revelation or a realization, but simply
rest.
Machiavelli stands beside you, watching the stillness with you. This, he whispers, is the truth beneath all truths.
Not what we are,
not what we fear,
not what we desire. He exhales slowly.
But what remains when we stop running from ourselves?
The window fades,
and with it,
the corridor begins to dissolve.
Not collapsing, not closing, just softening into the calm around you, as if you are walking out of a long, gentle dream. Ahead, a new space begins to form, vast,
quiet,
inviting. Machiavelli turns to you with a serene gaze. It is time, he says softly, to enter the chamber where the heart tells its quietest truths. You step forward. The corridor melts into mist, and the world around you becomes a warm, silver twilight, where thought itself begins to drift, like a feather falling through still air. Part 9. The chamber where the heart speaks in breath. The silver twilight around you deepens, as though the air itself is preparing to reveal something that cannot be spoken aloud. You step forward, the ground beneath you softens into something weightless, a surface that feels like woven dusk. Gentle, smooth, familiar, in a way you cannot explain. There is no wind, yet the air moves with a slow rhythm, as if the whole world is breathing with you.
Ahead,
a shape begins to appear, not sharply, not all at once. Just a pale outline forming from the soft haze, like a memory returning after a long absence. It resolves into a doorway. A simple frame of faint glowing lines, its edges pulsing in slow intervals, like the steady beat of a sleeping heart.
Machiavelli stands before it,
his expression calm, quietly reverent. This, he whispers, is the chamber of unguarded truths. He does not touch the doorway.
He simply breathes before it,
as though acknowledging that this place requires not strength, not intellect, but softness. You follow him inside. The chamber is round, vast, dimly illuminated by an inner glow. That seems to emanate from the very air. No lamps, no torches, no visible source of light. Just a gentle radiance, like the warmth that lingers in a room. After someone has whispered something honest,
and finally allowed themselves to rest.
The air is warm here, warmer than any space you have walked through so far. a warmth that does not touch the skin, but settles directly into the deeper places of the body. The chest, the ribs, the quiet center where breath begins. Machiavelli walks toward the center of the chamber. There, suspended in the air, floats a single sphere of light, much softer than the spheres in the earlier rooms. Much gentler. Its light flickers with the same rhythm. As a person exhaling after holding something in for too long. He speaks quietly, as if afraid that raising his voice might disturb the calm. People, he says, often reveal their hearts not with words, but with silence. The sphere pulses softly. Inside it, you see nothing. No image, no memory, just a warm, shifting glow, like a candle flame seen through half-closed eyes. This light, he continues, is not what the heart says.
He pauses.
It is what the heart feels.
Before it chooses any words at all, you stand beside him. The sphere brightens, and a faint vibration fills the chamber, so subtle you feel it more in your chest
than in your ears. The vibration carries something with it,
a sense of release and
a sense of vulnerability, a sense of truth that exists
only when the mind has softened enough to stop resisting.
Machiavelli places his hand on his chest, not dramatically, just with a gentle, grounded touch. In life, he whispers, people hide this part of themselves, even more than they hide their thoughts. The sphere flickers as though agreeing. They guard their fears, he murmurs.
They guard their hopes.
They guard the small, fragile parts of themselves that wish to be seen, yet tremble at the idea of exposure.
You step closer.
The air around the sphere warms slightly, and then slowly,
quietly, dash, dash.
The light begins to unfurl, not outward,
not brightly,
just unfolding the way a flower opens at night, petal by petal, revealing nothing dramatic, only softness. Within the unfurling light,
you glimpse impressions,
not images, not people, not stories, just impressions. A gentle ache behind a calm expression, a longing someone does not name, a fear carried quietly for years, a wish whispered only in dreams, a tenderness that has no place to rest. These impressions flicker like faint shadows, pressed into the glow. Machiavelli watches them with profound gentleness. This, he says softly, is the room where the heart speaks without defending itself. The warmth of the chamber increases.
Subtle, enveloping, the kind of warmth that makes the body loosen.
And the mind surrender. You breathe in, you breathe out. The sphere begins to contract again, its light drawing inward, as if protecting the truths it just revealed. When the sphere returns to its original, calm, resting glow, the entire chamber seems to exhale with it. Machiavelli turns to you.
In all my observations, he whispers,
this was the one truth I returned to most. He places his hand lightly in the air, almost touching the sphere, but not quite. People make choices, people craft strategies, people navigate their fears.
But at the center of everything they do,
he pauses, letting the silence settle. There lies a quiet place like this.
He looks around the room,
then back at you. A place where the heart rests, before it decides who it must be.
The sphere dims gently
like an eyelid closing. The chamber follows its glow, softening its warmth, drawing inward, preparing to let you go. Machiavelli steps toward the far end of the chamber, where a faint pathway of dim silver light begins to appear. It is time, he says quietly, to follow the heart's whisper. into the realm where resilience and tenderness meet. The doorway behind you dissolves. The chamber melts into shimmering mist, and a new passage unfurls ahead, long, pale, weightless, like the delicate seam between waking and sleep. You step toward it, and the world lowers its voice once more into a deeper serenity. Part 10. Where Resilience Meets Tenderness. The pale passage ahead stretches into a horizon that feels both near and immeasurably far, as if the world were folding and unfolding. With each slow breath you take, you follow the dim silver path, its glow rising and falling, like the tide against an invisible shore.
Machiavelli walks beside you, his steps softer than ever,
as though something inside him has loosened, a knot once held tightly now gently untying in the quiet.
The air changes.
It becomes deeper, warmer, heavier in the way that comfort can be heavy, like a blanket laid over tired shoulders and inviting rest without demanding it. Gradually, the passage opens into a wide, open expanse. At first, it seems empty, but then
shapes begin to form.
Tall pillars rise from the ground, not made of stone, nor wood, nor any material you recognize.
They are made of memory,
soft, diffused, glowing faintly from within, as if each pillar holds a fragment of human experience, frozen in quiet suspension. They are not sharp, they are not cold. They resemble the gentle outline of structures, seen through a veil of fog at dawn.
This, Machiavelli whispers,
is the Hall of Resilience. His voice is gentle, not proud,
not harsh,
just deeply aware. You walk among the pillars. Inside each one, shadows move slowly, echoes of moments where someone chose to keep going, even when the world felt heavy. You see, a person rising from a bed,
when their heart wanted to stay still.
A mother holding her child, despite her own exhaustion. A traveler continuing through a lonely road, a quiet figure staring into darkness, but taking one small step forward anyway. These images drift
like ripples caught in amber.
But the pillars do not feel rigid. They feel warm, as though every act of endurance was softened by time into a gentle glow. Machiavelli touches one. Inside it, a scene brightens and someone swallowing their fear before speaking the truth. He nods faintly. Resilience, he murmurs, is not the loud kind of strength. He walks forward.
It is not the roar of victory,
nor the blaze of ambition. His hand trails across another pillar.
It is the quiet decision
to keep living through one more moment. The pillar warms under his touch, and then another. You walk deeper into the hall.
Soft lights drift down from above,
like slow falling snow, made of stardust and breath. With every footstep, a faint hum rises from the ground, the sound of hundreds of human hearts choosing to move forward.
In their own silent ways.
Machiavelli stops in the center of the hall. He stands still for a long time, not thinking, not analyzing, just listening. You listen with him. The hall does not echo with triumphs. It hums with something quieter, the resilience found in small, uncelebrated acts that keep a soul intact. After a while, he whispers, "People imagine strength as something hard." He shakes his head gently. But real strength is soft. He raises his gaze to the drifting lights. It is the softness that lets a person bend. Without breaking, He continues walking, and you follow. As you move beyond the pillars, the hall begins to shift. A new warmth enters the air, a new light, faint, pink, pale gold, the colors of early morning that carries no demand. This, Machiavelli says softly, is the chamber of tenderness. The space feels different. Lighter,
more fragile,
more intimate. There are no pillars here, only soft currents of air and gentle threads of light that drift like feathers in slow motion. Inside each thread, you glimpse small acts of gentleness. A hand brushing dust from someone's shoulder, a smile offered through tired eyes, a blanket draped quietly over a sleeping child, a silent forgiveness given. Without ever being voiced, Machiavelli steps among them carefully. Most people, he whispers, hide this part of themselves, even more carefully than they hide their pain.
One of the glowing threads brushes his shoulder.
He closes his eyes. Tenderness, he murmurs, is often mistaken for weakness.
He lets the thread glide past him. But it is not.
He turns to you. It is the part of us that remains gentle, even after the world has been unkind. Resilience, he continues softly,
is the choice to keep going.
Tenderness is the choice to stay open. The two ideas drift toward each other in your mind, slowly intertwining, like two strands of light weaving a single ribbon. And suddenly
the hall reveals the truth it was waiting to show.
You step into the very center, and the two lights, resilience and tenderness, merge into one soft, glowing sphere. It rises between you and Machiavelli, a warm pulse,
a gentle breath,
a quiet truth. This, he whispers,
is the strength at the heart of every human soul.
Not hardness,
not resistance,
but the soft power to endure.
Without closing, the sphere floats upward, melting into the haze above.
The chamber grows still.
And from somewhere deep within the hall,
a slow, rhythmic breath rises, a sound like the world exhaling in peace. Machiavelli steps toward the far edge of the chamber, where a new path begins to glow.
Deep blues,
soft as velvet, steady as moonlight on calm water. It is time, he says quietly, to enter the realm where memory rests, and the self prepares to sleep. You follow him, your steps slow your mind, gentling into silence as the chamber fades behind you, like a soft dream returning to the night. Part 11. The stream where memory softens into light. The deep blue path beneath your feet glows with a soft, velvety shimmer. As you follow it away from the hall of strength and tenderness, the world around you becomes quieter still. A quiet so gentle. It feels like stepping through the memory of a lullaby. The air cools again, not sharply, but with the soft freshness of a night breeze, moving across still water. Ahead, you hear something. Not a voice, not a sound in the ordinary sense.
More like a faint vibration and
a distant hum that pulses in slow, calming waves. Machiavelli slows his steps. This, he whispers, is the place where memory rests. As he speaks, the path widens, and the world opens into a vast, serene basin. At its center flows a gentle stream. A stream not of water, but of shimmering light. It flows slowly, quietly, like moonlight poured into motion. The surface ripples with images, but not clear ones, just soft impressions drifting like petals across a still pond. Machiavelli approaches the stream with reverence. This river, he says, carries the memories people choose not to carry any longer. He kneels by the edge, but memories never disappear. He dips his hand gently into the glowing current. They soften. The stream responds to his touch
with a brightening shimmer.
That spreads outward in concentric rings. In each ring, a small impression appears. A child laughing in a forgotten moment of innocence. A quiet walk taken on a lonely evening.
A hand held briefly,
then released. A sunset once admired and never thought of again. None of the memories are painful. None are intense. They drift softly like dust floating in a sunbeam. Machiavelli watches them. People often believe, he murmurs, that memory is a weight.
He lets the glow slip through his fingers. But memory is really a light.
A light that fades and softens until it becomes gentle enough to carry without effort. He stands slowly. The stream continues its calm flow, shifting from silver to pale blue to soft rose. You step closer. The moment your reflection touches the glowing surface, the stream stirs, not violently, just with a deeper pulse,
as if recognizing your presence.
And then, small images rise, a familiar warmth in someone's smile, a morning that felt infinite,
a softness you once knew but could never name,
a moment of stillness in the middle of an otherwise difficult day. They rise, float briefly on the surface, and then dissolve back into the current, leaving only calm behind. Machiavelli watches you quietly. Memories, he says, are not meant to stay sharp. He walks along the edge of the stream.
They are meant to soften,
so the heart can move forward. Without breaking, the water continues to glow. A faint breeze passes over it, carrying a quiet scent. Warm, nostalgic, like the smell of old pages, or the inside of a treasured wooden box. In the center of the basin, a small stone platform rises, smooth, round, illuminated by the soft shimmer of the river. Machiavelli steps onto it. The platform brightens under his feet. This is where, he says softly, people come to release the memories they no longer need to hold tightly.
The air hums with a deeper resonance, vibrating in your chest,
like the quiet thrum of a distant cello. He gestures for you to join him.
You step onto the platform.
Immediately, the stream around you brightens. Not blindingly, but with a deep, warm pulse.
That feels like a gentle embrace.
And then the river begins to rise. Not as water does, but as mist lifting from its surface. The mist circles you, both carrying within it countless softened memories from countless forgotten moments. They swirl without urgency. In the mist, you sense them. A voice saying, "It's all right." A quiet apology once whispered.
A promise someone meant,
even if they could not keep it. A moment of comfort given without request. A kindness you once received, but never remembered to name. The mist glows. Machiavelli closes his eyes.
It is here, he whispers,
that people allow themselves
to rest inside their own past. The mist draws nearer. It wraps around your shoulders
like a warm shawl. It settles over your hands and your chest, your breath,
and suddenly
your own forgotten gentlenesses rise within it, a moment you forgave without saying so. A moment you cared without expecting anything. A moment you endured quietly and survived. A moment you chose softness when hardness would have been easier. These memories swirl around you, then dissolve, leaving only a deeper calm. Machiavelli opens his eyes. His voice is nearly a whisper.
The river teaches us, he says,
that the past does not disappear. He looks at the glowing stream below.
It simply becomes light.
The river settles. The mist falls gently back to the surface, creating ripples of pale gold. The platform dims, inviting you to step down. At the far end of the basin, a narrow bridge of shimmering light begins to form. Machiavelli steps toward it. It is time, he says, to enter the realm where the self dreams without words. You follow him, your breath slow, your thoughts softened, as the memory basin fades into a warm, endless night. Part 12. The Realm of the Wordless Dream. The narrow bridge of shimmering light stretches quietly before you, arching gently over the last curves of the memory basin. It feels weightless beneath your feet,
almost as if you are walking on the reflected glow of distant stars.
The air grows even softer, even quieter. A hush settles around you, as if the world is holding its breath in gentle anticipation. Machiavelli walks upon the bridge, with slow, measured steps,
as though each step carries him deeper.
Not into a place, but into a state of being. The bridge bends slightly, like a silver thread suspended in the night. Beyond it, a vast expanse begins to form. Not a valley,
not a hall,
not a chamber. Something different. Something which does not seem to belong to the world of shapes and edges at all. A realm made of quiet itself. A realm of dreaming consciousness. Machiavelli stops at the edge of the bridge. This, he whispers, is the boundary of the wordless dream. His tone is reverent, in the way someone whispers before entering a sacred place. You step beside him. Before you spreads a landscape that feels like the inside of a slow heartbeat. It pulses with faint light, waves of silver, then lavender, then pale blue.
There is no ground,
no sky, no direction.
Everything merges into a soft, infinite glow.
With no beginning,
no ending.
It feels like standing within a quiet sigh. Machiavelli closes his eyes briefly. You must not try to understand this place, he murmurs.
Understanding turns dreams into solid shapes. And here, shapes cannot survive.
The realm pulses again, a deep, calming pulse that invites your breath to follow its pace. Slow, even slower. You step into the dream. Immediately, everything becomes lighter. Your body feels almost transparent, not vanishing but loosening like a tight knot. That finally unwinds. The world responds to your presence with faint ripples of light that drift outward like falling feathers.
Machiavelli watches them.
In life, he says quietly, people speak too often. They name their thoughts, their fears, their desires, until the sense of them becomes rigid. A faint mist rises around his feet, but the truths that guide us most have no words at all. He walks deeper into the dream realm. Around him, the light shifts into soft waves that pass through his form like a breeze passing through silk. These are the truths, he murmurs, that live beneath language. He lifts his hand, a slow ribbon of light rises to meet it. Pale, warm, like the memory of a touch rather than a touch itself. This, he continues, is the realm of what the heart knows, before the mind decides how to speak it. The ribbon drifts upward, and then something gentle begins to happen. From the glowing mist, shapes appear dash. Not clear shapes, not formed figures, but soft impressions. Like silhouettes in a dream, the sense of being safe, the sense of being held, the sense of being understood. Without a single word spoken, all of it floats around you, in soft pulses of warmth. Machiavelli watches them with a softened gaze. In this place, he whispers, everything you have ever felt
That could not be spoken,
takes form,
not as stories.
but as warmth. The impressions drift closer. They do not touch you, they simply pass by, like a breeze remembering your name. You feel something subtle, a memory that is not an image, but a sensation. The feeling of being comforted as a child. The feeling of trusting someone without question. The feeling of resting after a long journey. The feeling of waking into quiet contentment. All these sensations drift around you in slow, shimmering arcs. Machiavelli steps forward into a denser cluster of light. Around him, the impressions swirl, like petals caught in a gentle underwater current. In life, he whispers, people search for clarity. He opens his hand, but clarity often lives, not in words, but in these quiet sensations.
One impression moves toward him.
It is nothing more than a soft warmth, shaped like a breath. He smiles faintly. You do not need to name your feelings here, he says. You only need to feel them.
He turns to you.
And allow them to drift. The way dreams drift, lightly, without holding on.
You breathe in.
The realm breathes with you.
You breathe out.
The entire space softens, as though exhaling through your lungs. The impressions begin to dissolve into a serene haze. Machiavelli nods slowly. The heart knows how to rest in silence, he murmurs, even when the mind does not. A new glow rises in the distance,
a deeper, warmer glow, the color of settling embers.
It pulses once, twice, calling gently. Machiavelli steps toward it and looks back at you with a calm expression. It is time, he says,
to follow the dream.
Into the realm where the self begins to sleep. The word sleep does not fall heavily. It lands softly like a feather finding its place upon a still surface. You move toward the ember glow and the wordless dream fades behind you into a soft, comforting hush, where nothing is asked of you and everything is allowed to rest. Part 13. The Twilight of the Self. The ember-colored glow ahead brightens, with a slow, pulsing warmth as you walk toward it. It is not the brightness of fire, not the glare of sunrise, just a deep, gentle radiance that feels like a blanket warming in the evening. Before being wrapped around tired shoulders, the soft light spreads outward, in slow waves as though it is breathing with you.
When you reach the edge of the glow,
You find yourself entering a space that feels neither like a room,
nor a landscape,
but something in between, a field of warmth hanging in a quiet twilight that seems to stretch in all directions. The colors here are muted, soft amber, faded rose, smoky gold. They drift together.
like pigments dissolving in warm water.
Machiavelli steps into the space beside you. His form, too, softens, The edges of his silhouette blur, the way shapes blur when your eyelids grow heavy. "This," he whispers, "is the twilight of the self."
His voice has changed,
Lower, slower,
almost drowsy,
as though the realm itself is drawing him inward into its soft gravity. You walk with him deeper into the twilight. The air around you feels warm, a warmth that seeps not into the skin, but into the spaces between thoughts, a warmth that encourages letting go. Ahead, a series of floating shapes begin to appear. Not objects, not beings, just drifting forms of light. Resembling lanterns made of fog and memory, they float lazily,
bobbing up and down.
as though moved by a distant tide. Each lantern holds an emotion, but not fully formed, only the softened outline of a quiet hope, a gentle ache, a longing that has no destination,
A peace that has no source.
a tenderness that never asked to be spoken. You walk past them, and each lantern brightens slightly, as if acknowledging your presence before dimming again. Machiavelli watches them with soft eyes. "In the waking world," he murmurs, "the self clings to definitions." He lets one lantern drift across his fingertips, to names, to roles, to the sharp edges of who we believe we must be.
The lantern glows faintly under his touch.
And then continues drifting. But here, he exhales slowly, the self loosens.
He steps ahead.
And in loosening, it becomes gentle. You follow him deeper, the twilight thickens into a warm haze that moves like slow waves of silk. Your body feels lighter, almost floating, as though gravity has relaxed its grasp on you. Your thoughts slow further, settling into long, silent stretches. Ahead, you begin to see faint silhouettes,
Not of people,
but of states of being. One shape resembles calm, one resembles surrender, one resembles belonging, one resembles the quiet relief of no longer needing to think. They float the way clouds float, in a sky with no wind. Machiavelli moves among them, as though walking through a gallery where nothing is meant to be understood,
only felt.
"These," he whispers, "are the many selves."
That people carry in silence.
He pauses, watching one of the shapes drift upward. "There is the self we present to the world." Another shape rises gently. "The self we show to those we trust."
A third shape brightens softly.
"And the self we barely acknowledge, even to ourselves." The twilight swirls around these shapes.
But in this realm, he continues,
All selves soften into one.
the shapes begin to merge.
Slowly, quietly, like threads weaving into a single ribbon. As they merge, their glow deepens into a warm, muted gold. "This," Machiavelli whispers, "is the moment before sleep, when all layers of identity sink into each other. The merged shape brightens,
Just enough to illuminate the space around you.
but only faintly, the way moonlight glows through a half-closed curtain. You breathe in, you breathe out. The glow follows your breath, as though the twilight itself has synchronized with your rhythm. Machiavelli closes his eyes. "It is here," he says softly, "that the self begins to rest." The warm twilight pulses around you, gently loosening every remaining thought, until the mind becomes soft and spacious and quiet. After a long silence, Machiavelli opens his eyes again, slowly, like someone waking from a dream. but still drifting inside it. "There is one more realm," he murmurs.
"Where we must go."
He turns toward a distant glow. Barely visible through the haze, a soft, deep blue radiance, like the first hint of night. "It is the place," he whispers, "where the boundary between waking and sleep finally dissolves." He begins walking toward it. You follow him, your steps unhurried, your breath steady, your mind drifting downward, as the twilight realm fades around you into a warm, velvety darkness. The final threshold before sleep. The deep blue radiance ahead glows with a steady, gentle pulse,
as though a vast night
is softly calling your name. You follow Machiavelli through the last stretches of the twilight realm. The warm haze behind you fades into a muted amber memory, softening into the distance, until it becomes nothing more than a faint warmth resting at the back of your thoughts. The path narrows, not sharply, not with urgency, just enough to guide you toward the soft, enveloping glow
that waits ahead.
The air cools again,
but not in a chilling way.
more like the coolness of a pillow, turned to its gentler side. A faint breeze moves through the space, not from any direction, but from everywhere at once, that, like the world itself, is exhaling. In long, slow breaths, Machiavelli walks silently now. His steps are nearly soundless. His form has grown translucent
In the soft dark,
He looks less like a figure and more like an idea of him, a presence shaped by calm. "This," he whispers,
is the threshold of falling.
His words drift into the air and dissolve into the darkness, like ink fading into water.
You step beside him.
Before you, the world opens into a vast, quiet expanse. There is no ground here, no sky, no horizon, just a deep, velvety darkness, lit from within by slow-moving tides of blue and silver light that ripple like moonlit waves seen through half-closed eyes. The entire expanse pulses in a rhythm that mirrors the breathing of someone slowly drifting into sleep. Machiavelli gestures gently. "Here," he murmurs. The self no longer holds itself upright.
He steps forward, and the world begins to hold you instead.
You follow him into the open darkness. Immediately, a profound stillness envelops you, not empty, not lonely, just deep. Deep. In the way a quiet ocean is deep. Deep. In the way night becomes soft, when the last thought finally releases. As you move further,
Soft ribbons of light drift upward,
like slow, weightless currents. They wrap around you without touching, moving through the space beside you with the rhythm of calm tides. These currents, Machiavelli whispers, are the final thoughts that remain before sleep takes over. A ribbon glides past your hand.
Within it, you see a faint impression, dash, dash.
Not an image, not a memory, just a sensation. The relief of letting something go. The peace of not needing an answer. The quiet warmth of being safe and allowed to rest. The ribbon dissolves into the darkness. Machiavelli watches it fade. In the waking world, he murmurs, the mind holds on. A slow wave of blue light rolls through the expanse. But here it learns to release. As he speaks, a deeper glow begins to rise from below. A warmth, the color of midnight, softened by dawn. It envelops your legs, your chest, your breath in a soothing, almost gravitational pull. Your body feels heavier, your thoughts feel lighter, the balance shifts. You breathe in, and the darkness brightens slightly. You breathe out, and it deepens again. Machiavelli steps to your side, as though guiding you gently into the embrace of something larger. You have walked through truth, he says softly. Through tenderness, through memory, through the quiet heart. His voice begins to soften further. And now, you stand at the final threshold. He looks into the deep blue expanse ahead. It is time, he whispers, to let the self rest.
The ribbons of light begin to drift away,
Floating out of sight, into the soft, infinite darkness. The entire realm becomes quieter,
slower,
heavier, the kind of heaviness that makes the body sink into itself. With warmth and surrender, Machiavelli's form grows even softer, his edges dissolving gently, as though he is stepping out of consciousness and into the deeper folds of night.
Sleep, he murmurs.
Is not a departure.
His voice fades like a sigh.
It is a return, a homecoming to the quiet center of your own being.
He steps back.
His form melts into the soft blue glow, until only a faint shimmer remains. The darkness breathes with you. A long pause, a gentle pulse, a slow, drifting weight settles into your limbs. The expanse grows dimmer with each breath. With each exhale, you feel yourself sinking just a little more, downward, inward, into the vast, soft quiet that has been waiting for you all along. There is no more path, no more movement, no more distinction.
Between you and the surrounding calm,
everything becomes one continuous breath, one continuous softness, one continuous falling, and the darkness, warm, deep, steady, receives you with perfect gentleness, letting you drift,
letting you loosen,
letting you finally peacefully sleep.